It would be one thing to just hear it were a rumor, but it isn't. In varying tones, Rodgers frequently tells us that the end is near. According to Mike Florio, Rodgers pondered leaving after 2020 and again after 2021. He will now be in charge of an offense without top receiver Davante Adams or a competent substitute for the man who wore number 17. Here's everything we've learned so far. Well, is Aaron Rodgers' last season in Green Bay? The Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers signed his historic contract extension 2 weeks ago. The widespread belief with that Rodgers would retire after the 2024 season, according to The Athletic, Matt Schneidman, former Packers executive Andrew Brandt, and another person close to the matter believe the contract is efficiently a $42 million agreement. To refresh your memory, Rodgers' contract is a 3-year, $150.82 million agreement that is fully guaranteed, while the contract legally spans the following 5 seasons. The 2025 and 2026 years are considered dummy years to help the Packers manage their cap. Rodgers received $123.52 million in extra money in the form of 2 more additional years in 2023 and 24. If Rodgers retires or is sold before his option year next year, the Packers will be left with approximately $40 million in dead money and an essentially offset $59 million in non-exercised bonuses. Quote, if he were to play again for the Packers in 2023, the dead money would soar to never-before-seen dimensions, Brandt explained. The extension's cap effect also lends weight to Brandt's viewpoint. While the agreement reduces Rodgers' cost charge for the 2022 season by $18.2 million, his quota hit for 2023 jumps by about $23.9 million from a previously voidable year, and his cap figure for 2024 will be $40.7 million. Well, what are your thoughts on the subject? Please let us know in the comments. Moving on, according to his agency, Bills safety Micah Hyde is gone for the season. Following the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, the Buffalo Bills have established themselves as the league's leading contender. This is because the Bills dominated the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams and the top seed in the AFC, Tennessee Titans. Those triumphs came at a cost on the defensive side of the ball, as the squad has lost several starting players due to injuries. One of them will have a season finale. Safety Micah Hyde is expected to be placed on injured reserve this week due to neck injury and will not play again this season. According to his agency, Micah Hyde will be out for the remainder of the season. Hyde has evolved into one of the league's top safeties since joining the Bills secondary in the offseason before the 2017 season. With that player gone, the Bills will have a major vacuum to fill for the rest of the season. In addition to Hyde, the Bills are dealing with major injuries to Dane Jackson, Ed Oliver, Jordan Poyer, Jordan Phillips, and Tim Settle. This is a huge worry when facing the Miami Dolphins offense on Sunday, which has been one of the most dynamic groups in the league so far this season because of the wide receiver combination of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The game will be held in Miami. Following that, can the Jaguars win the AFC South with their division in disarray? You anticipated the Jaguars to even make the playoffs in 2017, let alone to make it to the Super Bowl. With the AFC South in chaos right now, Jacksonville could be in line for another miraculous run. The Jaguars are the only AFC South team with a win after 2 weeks. Jacksonville's still reeling from losing a late lead to the Commanders in Week 1, but they made amends with a strong 24-0 win over the Colts this past weekend. That victory gives Doug Peterson's team a win against what appears to be the division's biggest threat, at least as long as the Titans continue to struggle. Tennessee was defeated by the Giants in Week 1 and thrashed by the Bills on Monday night. Trevor Lawrence's progress is one reason to believe in the Jaguars, though through 2 weeks, the second-year quarterback has looked like the division's top quarterback. Lawrence has competed 68.1% of the throws for 510 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception in his first 2 games this year. After a nightmare rookie season on Sunday, he had the best passer rate of his NFL career with 121.5 against the Colts. With a Super Bowl winning coach at the helm, the door for the Jaguars to make a run is at least open. Next up, Ron Rivera provides a positive update on Brian Robinson Jr. Head coach Ron Rivera of the Washington Commanders provided an encouraging report on the condition of rookie running back Brian Robinson Jr., who was wounded multiple times in an attempt carjacking on August 28th. Rivera indicated to Commanders Wires that the group enjoys, quote, what they see when they ramp up things. So far, has no negative consequences. Following the shooting, he was placed on the non-football injury list, leaving the door open for a possible return to action this season. However, hearing Rivera upbeat about his return to the field less than a month after the incident is startling and encouraging. While the club is excited, Riviera is not hurrying Robinson Jr.'s return to the field. Quote, "In all honesty, we're hoping that our rookie running back will be back sooner rather than later without giving you guys a date," according to Riviera team Dr. James Andrew, who was working with high-profile athletes such as Drew Brees, shoulder, and Adrian Peterson knee on their rehabilitations, will evaluate Robinson Jr. soon to ensure he's on track for his comebacks. Robinson Jr. was selected 98th overall by the NFL in the 2022 draft out of the University of Alabama. As a senior, the two-time collegiate national champion gained 1,639 yards on 306 touches and scored 16 touchdowns for the Crimson Tide. Moving on, Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett, a, quote, "darned good football mind," has failed so far. Nathaniel Hackett, the Broncos rookie head coach, is looking for answers to his team's offensive troubles. According to the Washington Post's Des Bueller, despite the tiny sample size of 2 games, the analytic implies his offensive could be historically awful. Quote, "By scoring 16 points in each game this season, Denver's on track for its lowest per-game scoring average since the 1971 Broncos," Bueller wrote. The 1971 squad won 4 games, trying for the fewest in franchise history for a full season since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970. The Broncos are 1-1 this season, but they narrowly beat the Texans in Week 2 while being booed by the home crowd. To his credit, Hackett accepted responsibility and admitted he needed to improve. Quote, "I just want to make sure I'm as efficient as possible," Hackett said earlier this week. Quote, "I haven't done it yet and can do much better." Hackett must uncover these answers immediately. Denver has made 6 visits to the red zone in 2 games and has scored 0 touchdowns. According to Bueller, the Broncos have 19 offensive drives, the second fewest in the NFL. Their lack of discipline is equally disturbing. The Broncos have the most penalties in the NFL with 25, 7 more than the Eagles. The Broncos, who have finished last in the AFC West in the last 2 seasons, must address these weaknesses as quickly as possible. On Sunday, they will face the 49ers, who boast the NFL's best defense. Finally, why Darrelle Revis is on track to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. The Pro Football Hall of Fame announced 129 modern-era nominees for the 2023 class on Tuesday, a group that will be reduced to 25 semifinalists in November and 15 semifinalists in January. Darrelle Revis was among the newcomers during his sole season with the Patriots. Revis was a 4-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl XLIX champion. Revis totaled 29 interceptions and 139 pass deflections and 11 seasons. Revis's 2009 season is regarded as one of the best by a defensive back. First-year Hall of Fame candidates have had various fortunes in recent years. 3 of the 5 modern-era inductees in 2021 were first-year candidates, with Calvin Johnson securing his spot in Canton despite a brief career, but DeMarcus Ware was denied earlier this year in favor of applicants with fewer accomplishments, but who had been on the ballot longer. With only 5 seats remaining, Ware should be a lock for one of them. Former Browns tackle Joe Thompson is also a potential inductee in his first year on the list, while some deserving candidates such as Zach Thomas and Torrey Holt have been on the ballot for a long time. Revis may benefit from last year's cleanup of overdue candidates. With names like Tony Boselli and Leroy Butler one of the running this year, the field is wide open for first-year hopefuls. Revis's chances are good as one of the true game-changing defenders of his generation. Well, that marks the end of our video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching.